Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Talk of the Seven Kingdoms, hosted by Bryson Roberts. So, I want to get into talks more so about the history and the evolution of what Game of Thrones was like. And we'll also talk about the class and economy in the fandoms of Game of Thrones. So, I wanted to talk a little bit deep dive into. Well, first, actually, we could dive into the class and economy of Game of Thrones. So, the fandom operates within a complex, multi billion-dollar effective economy. An economy driven by emotional attachment. This economy is established at roughly 7 billion spans of just merchandise and different type of styles of the fans created and the content growing 4 times than the traditional studio economy. And I think this is just a lot of it's very independent creation. Fans act in creating their own content and products. And it's honestly a high value in the market. The fan merch economy is estimated at 2.7 billion alone, with representing over 750 million, in gross merchandise value. And I just think that is very interesting. And I think Game of Thrones has been around for a very long time, and it kind of just shapes when the show had got released, what it was like for the fans and what kind of elevated, the fans. It was just common merchandise in terms of creating their own content, which today and age it is very, very, very rare to see. And with Game of Thrones coming out on April 17th, 2011, I think it's very, 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 very cool that even to this day, fans are still producing fan art. People are still producing different content for viewers like us, you and I, the fans out there as well that are very entwined into Game of Thrones. So Game of Thrones originally started in the books, and my co-host Jake Vogel, who's not here with us today, unfortunately, he is a huge fan of those books, and a lot of the controversy, I think, as well, is with the spin-offs and the different things that Game of Thrones franchise is producing. Just as of last week, they let everybody know that there will be a movie, instead of a TV show of the Aegon's Conquest, which a lot of fans like myself, and I could speak for Jake Vogel as well, are very, very, very excited to see. Warner Brothers are going to be making this movie, so we're hoping that we're in for a good treat, and we're hoping that they do the fans right, and they do the history of it right, and they stick strictly to the books and what the fans want to see. And I just find that just very interesting. And I think that's also going to allow their franchise merchandise as well, and the fandoms of fans making the merchandise for this particular movie series. I'm hoping that it isn't just one movie, that they continue on kind of with the trilogy going on, that because there's so much to talk about, and there's so much to unravel in that Game of Thrones universe. And the last thing I want to reach and speak about is how Game of Thrones shaped its own publicity, right? And what I mean by that is how did fans from all over the world kind of get on the same page into a TV show that wasn't strictly made in the U.S. And I think that with all the fans and the way that Game of Thrones made it, their books just entwined everybody onto the same page. And that's pretty much all I have for you guys today. So thank you for listening and thank you for watching as well.